Hey, managers of the Super Conference. This is your commissioner, Tyler Burkhart, here with a Week 3 recap. I think it's fair to say, just football aside, that this week will go down in history. We all know the reason. It's a tough week for all us Packer fans. But for fantasy football standpoint, I think it was a great week for several of us, whether it's because you got the victory or you made a big trade to help you now or in the future. I like to see a lot of action. So let's get to it, to the awards for Week 3, and see where teams now position themselves in the rankings. All right, so let's start off with the best manager of the week. I got to go with Nate Burkhart of the Los Angeles Quakes. I think he's got a really interesting team this year. He put up 117 points, easily leads our league now in points through 3 games. He has the best receiving core with Victor Cruz, Larry Fitzgerald, and Reggie Wayne. He's very smart, picked up Daniel Thomas off the waiver wire to back up Bush right in time. So I bet Aaron's kind of kicking himself there. But that was a great pickup by Nate, just in case Bush is out. But very lucky that he did that last week, so good timing. So for those reasons, I have him as manager of the week. As you'll see in the rankings, he made a big leap with his performance this week. The worst manager of the week, in reality, I'd probably give it to Tyler Powell of New York Blackout. He knows why. But I'm going to give it to the replacement refs of the NFL. I don't even care, I got to just get on my soapbox for 30 seconds. And we all know how crummy, how terrible of a call that was. But, they don't even have control over the game. Every game that you watch in the NFL, they have at least 2 times where the players are, pushing each other's, or the players are pushing each other. And it's just total, utter chaos. It's not football. It's terrible. In the NFL, I know it's all the pension issue. But they got to get on this and do something about it. This is terrible. Us Packer fans, we should be 2-1. I know our offense should have played better in the first half. But what the hell? I mean, come on. That's all I'll say about that. The game of the week was my upset special of the week, Fargo Embargo versus Seattle. Fargo pulls it off, but how exciting was that during Monday Night Football? Came down to that last drive with Aaron Rodgers, and he couldn't score the touchdown to put Seattle over the edge. Fargo gets the first win of the year, only a game back now in the AFC West. So just an exciting game. Both teams went over 100 points. So definitely my game of the week. The upset special, San Antonio Toros over Portland Car Ramrod. I think Tim this year could be the Kiln legend of last year. Or, kind of the Rudy of our group. I think a lot of people didn't expect him to make the run. I know that San Diego kind of saw some promise in this team. But I really think Tim is excelling, not because of necessarily the players he drafted, with the exception of RG3. But he's excelling because of the trade that I made with him. Stevie Johnson has 3 touchdown receptions. Alfred Morris looks like he could be the back now for the entire year. He made a good deal. He took the risk. It's paying off. And Tim now looks kind of like a top team. Meanwhile, Portland showed that he had a lot of holes in his team, but now he made that gigantic trade, so now he's looking awesome. So just an interesting upset here as San Antonio once again shows against the odds that he can put together 100-point games back-to-back weeks. Pretty impressive. Most valuable player, Jamal Charles, scored 35 fantasy points in a game that was decided by 2 points. I think he should be the unanimous number 1 choice here for most valuable player. Fantasy dud. I know a lot of people are going to probably pick Rob Gronkowski. I know he only put up 2 points. He played Baltimore. They've got great linebackers. So, I mean, that's why I thought that would be an upset. That was just a terrible matchup. So, because it was expected, I'm not going to go with Gronk. I'm going to go with Demaryius Thomas for Portland. I mean, he only put up 1.4 fantasy points, and this inconsistency might be, kind of a home run hit or miss with Portland moving forward. So, in my opinion, Thomas is the fantasy dud for the week. All right, so let's get to the rankings. Probably the most important part of the recap show here. You're going to see number 1. I'm going to keep Indianapolis. They're the only undefeated team. And until they lose, I'm not going to fiddle with it. They're number 1. Now, even though Portland lost because of this gigantic trade that they made, throwing in the towel for next year, Portland's got to be the number 2 team. Most likely, they'll be the number 1 team toward the end of the season. But, I mean, even though they're 1 and 2, they're the team kind of still to beat in our league just because they have so many talented weapons on the team now. Despite the losses to Seattle, or the loss to Seattle, I moved him up to 3 because he's put up a lot of points. At least he's shown consistency. And players like LeSure look like they're going to get the carries now. And Andre Brown. So I moved him up now to 3 because he's filled those holes. Big mover was Quakes going from 11 to 4. Like I said, the best receiving core. Ben Roethlisberger looks good. Sproles looks good. Bush looks like he's going to be solid. So, I mean, great tight end depth. So, if there's a team I think I underranked at the beginning of the year, it's Los Angeles, and I think he's proved it. San Fran 5, San Diego 6. I moved myself down to 7 until I start putting up some big weeks. I can't put myself in the top 6. San Antonio, another big mover from 12 to 8 is RG3. Looks like kind of the MVP of the year right now in fantasy football. Green Bay is the big mover the other way from 3 to 9. Didn't have a good week there. And Oakland was the other team I kind of moved down. As I said it last week, he still needs to improve upon the depth. And really not much else. I threw Minnesota at 15 because they threw in the towel for their season, so I'll do the same for my rankings. I'll throw you at the bottom. I thought it was a bad trade for him. I mean, you're 2-1. You have 2 elite running backs. What are you doing? I just, when you throw in the towel that early in the year, I don't get it. And I know he got a 1st and 2nd round pick for next year, but I don't understand it. Like, we play fantasy football to compete every year, not every other year. That's just my opinion. All right, so let's get to the awards for next week. My game of the week for week 4 is Portland versus Los Angeles. I've highlighted these 2 teams a lot. Los Angeles, on the one side, has the most points in the league so far. On the other side, Portland looks like the team to beat now with the trade. Both teams could put up 100 points. So this is going to be a really exciting matchup, I think. The upset special, I have New York Blackout over Washington Stimulus. If you look at the points, the projected points, New York is supposed to beat me. But from a record standpoint, it's still an upset. So I'll go with that. Kind of also just a little fun fact is I think my prediction is I think Indianapolis will remain undefeated 4-0. So it'll be interesting to see moving forward how many games Indianapolis can go undefeated. I don't think we've seen anybody go 5-0. I think we've seen one team go 4-0. So we'll see if he can kind of break the record there. Otherwise, that wraps up the summary show. I'm your commissioner, Tyler Burkhart. Best of luck entering week 4 and game on.